Hi guys, sorry I can't be there today, so I'm going to go ahead and put my lesson on here for you to know what to do in just a little bit. We're going to work on now kind of working with the ideas of words and putting letters together from what we've learned about syllables and what we've learned about synonyms and antonyms over the past few weeks. And you're going today to study a routine to spell a word, and then we're going to mix it up for you, and then you're going to go ahead and type the word again. So what that will look like is there are words that we need to know how to spell. These are just some common ones: although, suggest, however, effect, favorite, success. And then we're going to mix these words up on today's assignment that will help you to figure out how to spell a new word. So it's kind of like a little bit of a word find. So we have all of these letters here, and then we think, okay, well, this one has two G's in it. And my list up here, the only one that has two G's is suggest. So then what you'll do today is you will then have the word suggest. It'll be jumbled beside it. And you're going to type in S-U-G-G-E-S-T. In the second box, you're going to type it again, spelling it correctly, S-U-G-G-E-S-T. And you will be graded for this for spelling. You should get it all correct because it has the words on the left to be able to show you. So instead of having you write these words out, what we did was we created a Google document where you will have a list of words in one column. The next column will be a jumbled of that word, and then you'll just simply type the word twice in the boxes to the right in that Google document. You will need to spell them correctly, and you need to submit these because this will be for an easy grade. We're also going to work on the idea of reading fluently again. This time, instead of looking at just the punctuation, we're going to go ahead and look at the words together so it sounds like we're talking. You did a great job of that today in class, actually yesterday in class, when you were reading your sentences out loud. So that way we don't want to sound like a robot when we're reading. We want to sound like we're actually the character that's speaking. So let's practice with a book that we've already read. You're going to put your words together so that it sounds like you're talking. And the way that you do that is looking at this chart. Your reading sounds smooth. You show that you understand what you're reading. People understand the meaning when you read aloud. And you read like a character would say it. And many of you are starting to get into really excited voices or angry voices when you are sharing during the lesson. So that's what you're just going to work on, reading that in your brain. So that way when we come back together in our groups when I'm back in class, then you'll be able to, as the other people are reading, following along, looking at how they're grouping those together to sound like we're talking, and then using that punctuation again to help us. So this is kind of what it's going to be looking like. My neighbor Jake can be a real jerk. Notice there's a dash there, so I know that I take a half pause, always letting me know that whatever I do, he can do better. So notice I took a half pause on the dash, a half pause on the comma, and then I went ahead and I took a breath at the end of that sentence. Notice I'm going to speak and put the words together as if I am the boy telling the story. So listen to how I read this. My neighbor Jake can be a real jerk, always letting me know that whatever I do, he can do better. Don't get me wrong, Jake is great at practically everything he does, especially sports. Me? Not so much. I mean, I know I'm good at writing stories and playing the guitar, but when it comes to basketball, I have to practice a lot just to be a decent player. Notice how I took on the role as the character. Notice how the punctuation as I paused helped me to better understand, as if I was speaking from that character. Notice when I got to the end and it had the question mark and I said, me? Because that's what I was wanting you to feel. Me? Yeah, I'm not so good at sports like Jake is. Let's look at the next one. After I showed him the move, He grabbed the basketball from me and said, "Yeah, well, I bet you can't do this." And then Jake did a perfect hook shot. He couldn't just say, "Cool, Tyler," or "Great job, you nailed it." Nope, he had to outdo me. Who am I kidding? I thought I'll never be great at basketball. Why even bother trying? Notice on this one's how I made my words sound smooth. Even if I made a mistake, I just fixed that word and kept on going. Notice that I was showing that I understood what the character was feeling. And then hopefully you understood it as I was reading it aloud to you. Make sure to read it like you were the character and how they would say it. So what you're going to do today is you're going to, after you get done submitting your PWS, you're going to get on to Get Epic. During Get Epic, I want you to read another chapter book, not one of the comics, not one of the ones that are mostly pictures. And I want you to practice reading, stopping at the punctuation, showing excitement and emotion at question marks and at exclamation marks, making sure to take a brief pause at those commas. And in my book, it had some of those dashes. Or if it has those bold words or the words that are underlined, that I make sure that I show that emotion that the character is. And then I really want you to work on just what I did, making sure that your reading sounds smooth. Become that character. If they're sad, say it in your brain like you're sad. If they're happy, say it in your brain like you're happy. If you're mad, say it in your brain like you're mad. Practice this silently in your head to yourself as you're reading these stories and see if you get more enjoyment out of it, just like we did when you read them to us during our lesson. You'll be doing this during the rest of the reading time, so you will not get onto iReady today. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear your stories when we get back together again.